Hey Drew, quick demo video for you for your lightsaber, buddy. You got the Graflex that you sent me today. Nice piece, nice and clean. It's a little bit different from what I normally do. You asked for the activation to be in your clamp card and your auxiliary to be up here. So we were able to do that, and it was pretty neat. Never made one in this configuration before. So we're going to go through it. You got quite an upgrade. You had a Nano Biscotti V4 in here with a LED. So we took that garbage out of here. And we put in the CFX with NeoPixel. Got all the fonts on it that you sent me, plus I gave you a bunch of other ones. So let's get into it. You'll want to open it right here just like you did before. We'll unscrew it. This thing is smooth like butter, so it screws and unscrews real nice. Get your chassis system right here. Speaker in the back. Removable battery system like we talked about. You do have a positive and a negative symbol in there. You need to make sure always put your positive in towards the speaker. If you put this battery in backwards, you'll blow the board. So I gave you these inside the chassis. Just stressing it because I've had a few people, even with these or without these, I send videos to people explaining battery orientation, and a few of them have put the battery in backwards and fried the board. So please make sure you're following that positive towards the back. You wanted to be able to access your SD card, so I made sure to put SD card up. You can access it anytime you like. Okay. As far as your clamp switch for your activation, it's right here. When this lever is down, your card is going to be a little loose. And actually, I had to swap cards. You sent me this one, but it was way too thick to be able to have enough play to be able to press a button. Because when you take this card you sent and you slide it in there, there's no room. All right, so I swapped that one out. I'm going to keep that one and give you mine. I hope that's okay. If not, let me know. I gave you this one. This is a thinner card that comes with a 2.5 kit. I did have to put a little bit of electrical tape on the back. As you can see in there, I've got a 3D printed part with only one switch on it. Normally when I sell these on my Etsy shop, it's got a switch on both sides of that card. I sell them just the 3D printed piece, or most of the time I sell them where I've got the switches in there already wired, so an activation and an aux switch. But because you only wanted your activation, I left the one switch out. So your activation is always going to be towards the front. So we'll go ahead and slide this in here now. I slid this out to show you, but if you're careful with it when you're taking your pommel on and off, there shouldn't ever be any reason to even take that off. Alright, it's just a tad loose when you have that lever down, but when you clamp the lever down, it stays in place. So that's just what we got. So we'll put a battery in this guy. I'm going to send you a flat top battery. They fit in here well, so that's always going to be your positive side towards the speaker and your negative. So we'll slide the negative in here first, pop it in.
Go and pray that I find your master before he finds you.
And then with your lever down, we'll slide your pommel on. You'll notice, I don't know if you can see it on the camera too well, but that 3D printed piece right there, you just want to make sure that your pommel goes underneath that, all right? Because it is going to be a little loose. It kind of teeter-totters on the center bolt when nothing is beneath it to hold it steady. It actually levels itself out when it rests on the end of this guy. So just slide your pommel in there. Shouldn't have too much problems with it at all. I've been testing it back and forth before I made this video, and no issue. You just want to be mindful of it. I don't install a clamp switch a lot because they do tend to be a little sensitive. If I got the button back here, for people who aren't familiar with installs, but you don't even have that anyway, so you got nothing to worry about. So I don't have a full length 7/8 blade right now, but I do have this guy. So we're going to test with this. Kept your glass eye as your blade retention. I'll pop this in. I put your PCBs pretty far down in there too, because it looked like when I was looking at this. Let me look at your glass eye real quick. Yeah, it's not a shine through, but in the future, if you ever wanted to, you know, upgrade your glass eye to an actual shine through, I made sure your PCBs were far enough down into your hilt where you would get some good light. Pop it in, tighten up your blade retention, turn this light off. Activation. Smooth swing. Your auxiliary button's up here just like you wanted. Tap for blaster deflex. Hold it down for blade lockup. Flash on flash. And to change color while the blade is on, hold down your auxiliary button and twist your wrist like this.
Spectrum.
You hear spectrum, and now you can twist your hilt like that to cycle through all the colors it's got until you find one that you like. Let's go with the green. Just tap the button. Now you're on green. For blade profiles, if you don't like what's going on here, I gave you 16 different blade profiles. So you'll hold down the auxiliary and twist your wrist, but when you do that, keep hold of the auxiliary button. So like this.
Spectrum.
Hold it down.
Blade profile.
Now let go. And now you can twist the hilt again to get different blade effects. When you find one you like, just tap the button. Now we got a nice pulsing blade. And then, of course, your activation turns it off. Pretty sweet. Now let's go through your Soundfonts. I know you sent me a few that you wanted on here, and I did get them all on here. I went through and I added the LEDs text file that Jesse Kirkbride doesn't normally put on his fonts, so you don't get that loud beep when you turn your saber on. But those have all been added, and then I gave you a bunch too. So hold down your auxiliary button when the hilt is off.
Sound bank selection.
Now you can use the auxiliary button or you can use the activation button to cycle back and forth, but we'll just do the auxiliary.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. You are not a Jedi yet.
I'm going to briefly go through all these, just so you can see they all work.
Well, you look like an overgrown... You ever hear a small rebel?
I'm never touching that thing again.
General Monday, reporting for... Formerly Darth. I claim this soul. He's been working on that thing for... The Force will be with you. Legacy. What is thy bidding? My master, I have glimpsed a terrible future. Traitor!
Don't insult me.
Jedi Second sister. Our time, Corellia.
I think there's 46.
Patriarch.
Ayla Sakura, there are ways those...
We're going to go through them so you know.
General Monday, reporting for... At last we will have... Only a Sith deals in abs. Greed can be a power. Anger and your lust for power.
Rey Skywalker.
Second sister.
Audio player.
So we got to the end there, so we'll go back up.
Second sister.
Rey Skywalker.
I think that's a scavenger one. When you find one you like, hold down the button.
Wherever you are hard to find.
When you have a normal size blade in this thing and you just tap your auxiliary button, a blue light will come out and it will show you the percentage on your blade of where your battery's at. So if your battery's at 75%, 75% of your blade will be lit up. Since I got this super small dagger guy, it's not going to show you. But That's a scavenger. Most of these fonts have music that play in the background, so when the blade is off, double tap your activation. And of course you can mess with the blade when the music's in.
Spectrum. Blade profiles.
To turn the music off, just double tap your activation again. And that is your hilt, sir. I appreciate you reaching out to me and having me do this for you, trusting me with your hilt. I hope you enjoy it. It's a major upgrade from what you had in it. Thank you very much.